ask you a common question, one you probably get asked a lot. Who are you? What is the first thing that comes to mind? But try not to give me a textbook perfect answer or how you think others would want you to respond. Who are you without all the strings attached? Now, I'm well aware that you are going to hear a lot about other people's identities tonight. And to be totally frank with you, when I sat down to write this talk, I didn't have any idea how to start. And I didn't know how to say anything about who I was. So I couldn't imagine writing a whole talk about it. I know my name, my age, where I'm from, and what I like to do. But I knew that a lot of other people could say the same thing, or at least something similar. And that got me thinking. It seems simple to ask someone who they are. But people usually respond with a prepared script, what they think others will want to hear, what they think will work the best. It can be very easy for people to create their own image of who you are based on the littlest things, small things you wouldn't even consider. And it happens all the time in the form of, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? How old are you? What do you like to do? People use these details to build assumptions, to categorize, to stereotype. It's instinct, a reflex. But once those labels stick, it's hard to break free from them. This is probably why, growing up, my mother always told me first impressions matter. Before the first day of school, before tryouts, before social events, and I've come to learn just how true that statement is. How you speak, how you present yourself, lays the foundation for how others see you. But I want to show you how not to let that affect how you see yourself. The common theme tonight is identity. But is your identity still your own after it differs with every person you meet? How much can each person affect how you see yourself? Again, no strings attached. Who are you? When you begin questioning your identity in this kind of light, you might find you're left with a blank canvas. Any compliment, any flaw, anything you've seen through someone else's eyes leaves you holding a metaphorical shovel, digging for your raw self. It takes vulnerability to strip yourself clean. And that can be scary because we all want to be perfect, we all want to be successful, and we all want to fit in. But perhaps it's impossible to wear an identity without becoming what you pretend to be. This has been a long-time favorite quote of mine by American writer Orson Scott Card, written in his work Ender's Game. This quote contributed a lot in shifting my mindset of identity, because it helped me to realize over time that when we shape ourselves into what we think will pass best with others, we slowly lose connection to who we are, and eventually we forget what makes us unique. Have you ever heard of the term code switching? If not, let me present you with a textbook definition. Code switching, the practice of changing one's language, dialect, style of speech to fit into a different social context. Basically, another way we unconsciously adjust ourselves to fit in. Think about it, the words you choose, the way you laugh, even the tone of your voice. Small shifts that make other people feel more comfortable. But with every adjustment, aren't you just bending pieces of yourself to meet someone else's expectations? With every adjustment you make, with every subtle change, you take yet another reminder that parts of your identity are being reshaped, not by you, but specifically, but by the world at large. And if you are constantly changing to meet those expectations, at what point do you meet the real you? There have been times where I have code switched. Actually, I probably do it daily. I'm a different person when I'm at home, when I'm at school, when I'm at activities, basically everywhere I go. It's instinct to read a room and mentally adjust. Now, I'm not telling you to stop, and I'm not trying to tell you to avoid it, but I'm trying to remind you that you don't always have to. It's cliche, it's complicated, but the saying, stay true to yourself, is important in this context. It means embracing what you believe, what you like, where you're from, what you want. It means not losing yourself along the way. I didn't come in here to present my identity to you because I believe that it is way more complicated than that. If you look at me or listen to me, you create your own sense of my identity. And without hesitation, I'll do the same to you. No, I didn't want to come in here today and talk about myself, or rather what I see, because that would only affect my opinion and you would go about your day. Instead, I wanted to change your perspective. Leave an idea with you to consider in those moments where you are asked in some shape or form, who are you? I wanted to remind you that what comes to mind is likely instinct. You go so much deeper. Years of experience and life, traditions, cultures, and beliefs lay the foundation of who you are and shape who you become. But it is important not to let yourself forget the ties that bring you back to your identity. Next time you feel your attitude shift in a room, or you get a compliment or feel insecure from another person, think, will this affect how I see my identity? Do I want it to? Identity isn't something you list. It's something you lose when you perform for others and rediscover when you question why you're performing. In the end, you are in control. Thank you.